What's up, guys? Coach Vassar. Thank you for joining me with OTF Audio Daily Beats. As always, if you're new, appreciate you tuning in, listening to me talk about these workouts. If you find value in them, please let me know. Information is in the description to support me. We're going to break down Friday, August 15th. This will also repeat Saturday, the 30th. We're going to see power on the treads, power on the rower, strength on the weight floor. We'll talk about the 2G and then break down the 3G. All right, so looking at key concepts of the 2G, we're going to see two blocks. On the treads, block 1, we have two builds. Block 2, we build our intensity, but you'll get recovery between each effort. The good news, as efforts get harder, they also get shorter. For the rower, we have one row-in block. Like the tread, the rows get shorter and more intense each round. On the floor, we'll see two blocks. Start each one by firing up your stabilizers with the mini band, then focus on lower body in block 1, upper body in block 2. You'll need benches out, you're using the mini bands, and the dumbbells. So make sure bands are at the stations, benches are set up in a way that don't crowd each other, all that fun stuff. Tread side, we are going to see a total of 23 minutes and 15 seconds for Marathon Month. We'll have two blocks there. Block 1 is 8 minutes and 30 seconds, 90-second recovery. Block 2, 13 minutes and 15 seconds. Okay. Block 1, you have a 5-minute build, and then we repeat that build, but in half the duration. The intervals are also cut in half as well. So we're going to see a 2-minute base push to begin with, 90 push, 1-minute push all out, 30-second all out. We want to remember the intensities that they use. They'll have a 1-minute walk recovery, and then they repeat the build, but everything's cut in half. And the goal is to increase the intensity for each interval. So whatever they did for their 2-minute base push, let's add to it for a 1-minute base push. And instead of 90 seconds for a push, it's 45. Instead of 1 minute for a push all out, it's 30. Instead of a 30-second all out, it's a 15-second all out. This will mimic what will happen in the second block, where the work decreases in duration, but the goal is to increase the intensity. So just get them confident with bumping up that speed by 0.1 or more, bump up the incline by 0.5% or more. As I said in previous workouts with builds like this, you could coach to like the percentages of the parameters for the power walkers, but you could also set the expectation of like, hey, even though it might not be your typical push intensity, your all-out intensity, truly go off of feeling and think about what could we add and can we maintain that add every round. So for the power walkers, add somewhere between 1 to 3% on every time you go up. Joggers and runners, maybe 0.1 to 0.5 or more, and increase that every single time. Okay, and then when we repeat the build, hey, let's just do 0.1 more or 0.5% higher. So if you went up by 0.2 every time, let's try 0.3 every time. If you went up by 1%, try 1.5%. Or strictly whatever the setting was for your base push, go 0.1 higher than that. Whatever the push was, go 1 point higher than that. So they are literally just adding to the previous intensity versus adding to the build. Okay. Block 2, they're going to start off with a 2-minute push. They have a 75 walk, and the walk will always be 75 seconds, and the goal is to walk the entire time. And what we want to see people do is, just like in the previous build where we try to add to it, we want to increase speed by 0.1 to 0.3 for the joggers and runners. Power walkers, can they add 0.5% to 1% each effort? So power walkers will start at 5% incline, joggers and runners anywhere from 1 to 2 over their base speed for that 2-minute push. The next round, it's 90 seconds of a push all out. Okay, so whatever they did for the push, let's add to it, right? If they started conservative, they can make bigger jumps. If they started aggressive, they'll probably need to make smaller jumps, right? So if they started at 1.5% or 1.5 miles an hour over their base, they might only bump up by 0.1 every round. If they started only 1 over their base, they might bump up by 0.2, 0.3, or even 0.4, right? So we have a 90-second push all out, 75 push all out, 1-minute push all out, 45 all out, and then a 30-second all out. Hopefully with those increases, that last all out is potentially better than what they did for their 30-second all out in block 1 for that build, especially knowing that they get lots of time for recovery. Really emphasize the importance of the recovery and how it benefits the heart's ability to work efficiently. So we want the spikes during the push all outs. They keep going up when we're done, but when we walk, we want them to drop. when you start working, heart rate should still keep going down for the first 10 to 15 seconds. Then there's that delayed pickup, right? If you start working right away and that heart rate spikes up right away, it's actually not a good thing, right? That is a sign of poor conditioning. Ideally, that heart rate could stay lower for a short duration with that increased intensity. But then it picks up recognizing, oh, yeah, we're doing work. We got to pump the blood, okay? Now, when we look at the weight floor side, we're going to see a sandwich floor block, rower block, and then the floor block. For the floor, we'll see mini band work with the squat hold front walk, so right around mid shin. They'll do 4 steps forward, 4 steps back, and then fingertips by the temple as they do a mid band good morning for 8 reps. They'll have 2 rounds of those 2 things, then they put the mini bands away. They're going to do the bench single leg sit to stand, the precursor to like a single leg squat. And then that's going to be paired up with the alternating single leg deadlift with dumbbells. Now that's going to be with 2 dumbbells, 1 in each hand, but obviously they're going to pick 1 foot up, they'll hinge. When they stand up tall, they switch legs. A great alternative for that one that I like people to do is do like an alternating split stance deadlift, so that when they stand up tall, feet are side by side, they'll stagger 1 foot back, hinge, come back up, feet side by side, step back on the other side. That way they're still getting somewhat of unilateral work, but nowhere near as intense on the balance and stability aspect of it, like a single leg deadlift. But if they could do it with the balance work, great. Okay. When it comes to the end of that, they'll have 90 seconds to get to the rower, and they're going to do a 200-meter all-out row, rack, rest, repeat. But they're going to decrease the row by 50 meters. So 200, 150, 100, 50 meters. That's it. If they finish all 4 rounds, then they're going to repeat round 4 until time is called. With them having 4.5 minutes, if they take the correct approach, that 200-meter all-out row, somewhere around 45 seconds or less, but it's an all-out. They should need to breathe and recover for a little bit, probably around 30 to 45 seconds or more. So at least equal work and recovery. The likelihood of people getting through all 4 rounds and doing some bonus rounds is very low, unless they are actually not taking that rest and they are not rowing at an all-out intensity, right? Because if you are rowing at an all-out, you probably need to recover a little bit, one would hope, okay? After that, they're going to head back to the floor. The key thing here is there's only 75 seconds for this setup because it's going to take place after the 90-second push all-out of block 2 on the treadmills, okay? So you are going to be crunched on time on this one, so definitely be very exclusive on how you set up and what you use to demo. I personally would not put the band on, but we're going to see the low band high plank single arm glide. So the band is going to go right above the wrist. They're in that quadruped position. They're going to take one arm out to the side, back in, keeping the shoulders packed, and that's going to be paired up with the crunch hold scissors. The bands are still on the forearms. They'll crunch up a little bit, one arm up, one leg down, and then they switch the legs for 12 total reps. 2 rounds there, and then we're going to see alternating chest press paired up with the single arm reverse grip low row. Okay, so for that bench alternating chest press, one arm down, press back up, other side down, press back up, and then that single arm reverse grip low row, palm turned away. Try to minimize any rotation as they drive that elbow up, so they get in a lot of core work to keep the spine stable. They'll repeat those until the finisher, which is either a bodyweight tap squat or a bodyweight push-up. After that, we move into the 3G. 2 blocks on the treads, 2 blocks on the rowers, 1 block on the weight floor. On the tread side, we're going to see a total of 14.5 minutes. There's going to be a 5-minute build set up just like the 2G. So 2-minute base push, 90 push, 1-minute push all out, 30-second all out. They'll have 90 seconds to recover, get back to base when they're ready, and then they repeat a variation of block 2 from the 2G. So they'll actually kick it off with a 90-second push. Walk recoveries are only 45 seconds this time, and they're still going to add. So 90 push, 75 push all out, 1-minute push all out, 45 push, or 45 all out, 30 all out. Okay, same idea, add 0.1 to 0.3 for the joggers, runners, add 0.5 to 1% or more for the power walkers on every interval of work. For the rowers, block 1, they have a 5-minute block here. They'll start with a 200-meter all-out row, And then we are trying to increase the average watts every round as they decrease the distance, just like in the 2G. So 200, 150, 150 meters. And like in the 2G, they'll repeat round 4 until you call time. Block 2 is going to be paired up with the treadmills. So they'll do that same sequence, 90 push, 45 recovery row, then 75 recover, 1 minute recover, 45 recover, 30. And the goal here is to increase watts every round. Weight floor, we get rid of the mini bands. It is just the unilateral work. They'll do 2 rounds of the lower body, 2 rounds of the upper body, and then they'll repeat whichever of their favorite back-to-backs until the finisher. So you have the single leg sit to stand, alternate and deadlift, and then you also have the alternate and chest press and reverse grip low row. Once again, 2 rounds of each. Try to do both of those movements, then take a break, and then repeat. The finisher, same idea as the 2G, their choice of tap squats or bodyweight push-ups. And then that will be it. So there you go. That's going to be your Friday, August 15th, Saturday the 30th. Any feedback, let me know. Otherwise, coach it down.